Hello, my name's Nathan Ward from Leica Geosystems. I'm Market Segment Manager responsible for the Asset Collection and Management Market Segment for the UK and Ireland. Today I'm going to explain to you what the Asset Collection and Management Market Segment is all about, the typical applications and workflows for the equipment and the equipment used in this market segment. For those of you who don't know, Leica Geosystems is part of the Hexagon Group. Hexagon also own Intergraph that are involved in asset collection and management, plus we have other associations that you can see on the screen here, such as the Ordnance Survey, Esri, and also we're members of the AGI. So what is asset collection and management all about? Well, there is a definition and it's about the measurement of position and associated information of items of economic value that are owned by an individual or an organisation. So these are primarily fixed assets. They don't have to be fixed, but they're associated with the land, machinery, buildings, furniture, tools and resources. These assets are often managed in a software system, and this is their geographic position and associated information is viewed, updated and analysed in a GIS system, so a geographic information system. So why would you want to go about collecting asset information and manage that in the field? Well, it has a number of important values, as you can see on the screen here. Data is current and up to date, which is a key driver. You actually undertaking that up-to-date capture and management of that system while you're out in the field in real time, which is important. So while you're there, you know that it's going to be accurate and reliable. Also, with the advent of the latest technologies with regard to satellite positioning, then the overall accuracy of your assets can be improved and enhanced. Also, while you're out in the field, you can verify that the asset information is correct. And of course, you're also able to inspect that asset and provide value information into the system to know when you actually inspected that asset and for example, what the condition of that asset was actually like at that time. So it all starts with a geospatial database, so information about your assets that is location aware. This information is then made available to field workers, and it can include other reference information as well, such as background mapping, aerial imagery to assist the user, assist the field operator while they're working. Once this data is made available to the user in the field, then that user can start adding to this data set, they can start deleting anything that is not there anymore, and also updating and improving the accuracy and reliability of that data set in the field. At this point, once the data has been inspected, has been verified, then this data can then be synchronised back with the back office database to update that information and everything's correct. So this workflow is typical in many different market segments, and here is an example of some of the segments on the screen here. Utilities, natural resources, transportation, public safety, and the public sector all utilise this type of workflow and this particular and have applications that would benefit from this type of workflow. So a typical application is in the utilities market, where, for example, a utility field worker is after collecting information about their assets. So this could be the location and condition of, say, a manhole or a water valve. And in this situation, we'd use a solution like I've got here, which has got a CS25 tablet computer. So we've got the 7-inch touchscreen for visualising all the data. This links via Bluetooth to the GG02 Plus antenna, which will track not only the GPS satellites but also the GLONASS satellites. So this will deliver a centimetre level position in more difficult environments, such as like near this building that we're located at the moment. Inside the CS25 there's a SIM card that will connect to the Leica SmartNet RTK correction service, so this will calculate your position to Ordnance Survey coordinates to centimetre level accuracy. So in this situation we're going to be recording the data within the Zeno Field software, and we will then put all the attribute information in as well as the condition, for example, and we can take a photograph with a 2 megapixel camera that's also on the CS25. Once this data has been collected, it can then be synchronised back with the office using the easy out, using the easy in workflow, which will then synchronise the data back with Zeno Office. So another typical application is in the natural resources market. Here, a forestry worker would be interested in measuring trees, perhaps for disease. You might want to do some soil sampling, look for information relating to some of the natural resources, in this case the forest. So here we would have data that's already been prepared and sent to the device. So in this case it's using the Leica CS25 ruggedized tablet computer, running Zeno Field software for the manipulation of the data. Inside the CS25 we've got a GPS chip that will allow 2 to 5 metre accuracy of position to be recorded, so we can record the location of the tree or the soil samples that we're measuring at that particular time. We can also use the 2 megapixel camera on the underside of the tablet to take a photograph of the of whatever we're mapping, and we can add additional information such as the as attributes to the data within the software. So a typical application in the public sector is where a local government worker would be interested in maintaining an up-to-date record of street furniture in this area. So in this situation it would be a street sign. So you want to be able to locate the position of the street sign and update any information about the condition or any of take a photograph of what type of signs are on the signpost. So here we would use the Leica Zeno 10 with a 3.5G modem. So on the top is a cap which will allow the position to be located of the unit. It will track the GPS satellites as well as the GLONASS satellites. So this will mean that you can work in areas where it is going to be built up, where you do have trees blocking out satellites, so it will give you an accurate position. And by using the 3.5G modem inside with a SIM card, we're connecting up to Leica SmartNet, the DGNSS service, and this will deliver a half-metre accuracy position, which will locate where the sign is. So by having prepared all the data in Zeno Office and making sure that database is then visible on Zeno Field, we can record all the information in the Zeno Field software. We can use the camera on the other side of the Zeno to take a photograph of the signpost, record all that data into the database, and then we can synchronise that data back with the office either wirelessly, or we can take the unit back to the office and transfer the data back into your database. Also, these workflows can be applied to other market segments as well. For example, surveying ground, we have topographic mapping and seismic applications that could utilise this workflow. In engineering and infrastructure, this particular applications of pipeline mapping and construction, and even civil engineering can utilise this a workflow to benefit. In building construction, the measurement of utilities and drainage could utilise this workflow, as well as general site preparation before building construction work is going to be undertaken. In surveying and plant processes, this workflow is very much utilised in the oil and gas industry, so we're looking at facilities and maintenance management, as well as just more general utilities mapping within the oil and gas plants. Popular use of the workflow for asset collection management is applied into the agriculture market segment. Here, for example, farm inspectors might want to measure land areas, and this will enable the owners to receive subsidy payments for that land area. Also, they might want to use this workflow for water management on the farms as well. So I'd like to introduce you to two more software solutions that you might want to consider for this particular your particular application. One of these being Mobile Matrix software. This is a full GIS software. You can take your GIS out into the field, so you'd run it on the Leica CS25 tablet, and you get all the functionality of GIS out in the field. But the benefit is that you're connecting to any of our sensors for your position information. This application particularly applies where you've got a complex data that you want to update. It might be for utility applications or utilised within local government. The final software I want to introduce you to is called Zeno Connect. This is an interface that will allow organisations to put their own software on board our controllers. So whether it's the CS25 or a Zeno controller, you can put your own software on there, and the Zeno Connect will interface with the GNSS device to give you an accurate position, but the data is actually stored in your own application. So this has particular benefits where you have projects and tasks that require a particular way of working. An example also might be that you want to use the CS25 for more web-based data capture, and you could utilise software such as solutions such as the Esri ArcGIS mobile solution, where you can interface with your database via the internet and update and manage that information accurately and reliably. So as you can see on the screen now, we have the workflow that I have been explaining through this presentation, but we can now see some of the products that are utilised for this during this particular workflow. So we have our Zeno Office software for taking the data, managing the data, and then using the Easy Out workflow, we can take the data out into the field that can then be utilised on some of our products. And we have different software applications depending on the task that you want to undertake. And then we can bring the data back into the database using the Easy In Work part of the workflow. So finally, I'd like to say thank you very much for listening. If you'd like further information about asset collection and management, please feel free to visit our website or contact me directly. Thank you very much.